What advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
The advice I would give my 18-year-old self is to really embrace the things that I was at the time most self-conscious about. I remember even from a young age, I was very politically conscious and I was very engaged with my community. I was all about politics and civic engagement, and at times I felt like that was really not the cool thing to do, and I kind of felt like a big dork. But I learned as I got older that that really made me stand out, and in fact, that's what got me to where I am today. So I would just tell my 18-year-old self to have more confidence in who she is and to really embrace what her passions are, because that's what's going to take her far.
Awesome. That was good. Okay, so the next question. What tools has CHCI given you to help you become a better leader?
CHCI has given me a couple of things that I really think have advanced my leadership. The first would be just when I did the internship program was the first time that I was exposed to Latino professionals who are quite successful. In my hometown, I had never come across that before. So just seeing role models for me meant a lot, and it really gave me the confidence to go after my own dreams. Secondly, I would say that CHCI has given me an amazing network. I feel within the CHCI family, I always have people who are supporting me, who have lent me professional opportunities, but also in my personal life. When I first moved to DC, it was my CHCI network who helped me get settled in.
Great. So why do you think it's important for young people to play an active role in civic events?
I think it's really important for young people to be actively involved in civic engagement. One, because young people are underrepresented. Young people are a huge part of our democracy, but you don't really see their voices reflected really anywhere in our government. And you don't necessarily have to be an elected leader to affect change. And I think young people do have a lot of power. If you look at history, you always see the young people, students, are the ones leading a lot of social justice causes. So young people really do have a lot of power, and people do listen to young people. It's especially important for Latinos, who are the fastest growing population and also the youngest population, to stay civically engaged, especially because oftentimes we're the first ones in our families who have really had access to education and have the platform that our parents worked hard to make sure that one day we did have. So we should all take advantage of that. People should be very involved with their communities at every level.
Great. So what qualities do you think are important in a leader?
The qualities I think are important in a leader are listening, number one. I think people who leave the ego behind and really listen to the people they're serving are the most effective leaders. And then people who really stay grounded to their community make effective leaders as well, just because they know what's happening on the ground. And they're able to have a vision for their community just from their everyday interactions with people. But I think listening is really key. I think a lot of people forget that in leadership, but I think if people really hone that skill, they can go far.
And then last question, what are you personally doing to make the world a better place?
I'd like to think I'm doing what I can to make the world a better place. For one, in my professional life, I've dedicated my entire life to social justice causes. I'm a civil rights attorney who I've worked on behalf of marginalized communities my entire life, and definitely now as a civil rights lawyer I do that. But I think another way that I try to make a change is really by mentoring. I think it's really important to mentor the next generation. I think about my own trajectory and how it was my mentors who exposed me to opportunities that, as a first-generation American, as a first-generation professional, I never would have known about. So I really think it's important to lift as we climb. So I think that's probably the biggest impact I make, is just, anybody who asks for help or wants to have coffee or chat, I always make it a point to meet with people, because I think of all the people who took the time to do that with me and how that's really helped advance my career.
So do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave us with?
This is going to
be on the website, and
okay.
So it's for, we have a virtual leadership institute that we're trying to have as a platform for people to come from all walks of life to come and learn. Just learn about CHCI, learn about what leadership is. I
guess my final thoughts would be, I I think people often think that they have to have, a certain degree or a certain level of education or have to have certain contacts to make a positive change in this world. And that's not true. I think that if you just have passion and if you really care and if you work hard, you can make a change. That's one thing that I learned from the CHCI program. I met so many wonderful people out here who just put in the work and they had so much passion behind what they did. And that could really take you far, so never feel discouraged. Don't ever feel that you're less than. If you believe in what you're doing, you'll go far.
Great. And the last thing we need you to do is just, if you can say this line here, I'm a CHCI alumnus and I'm here to lead, to the camera.
I'm a CHCI alumnus and I'm here to lead.
Awesome, that was great.
Okay.